the price of housing on the rise.
Living on my own was not going to be feasible.
Our DC Bureau gives you the latest. Many left stranded in airports after the mass tech outage.
It's like over $2,000 or something ridiculous.
Including a man with special needs. And uncovering history.
We're not in Indianapolis. We're not in Daytona. You're crazy.
Caplin News gives you an inside look at a historic racetrack in South Florida. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm David Lascano.
And I'm Emma Alonso. Today is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Pomp and prices as college graduates struggle to find affordable housing. Many recent college graduates are facing new challenges as they start their careers.
To tell us more, here's our Caplin News DC Bureau reporter, Lal Parfrey.
The dream of living independently after graduating from college is becoming increasingly difficult for many young professionals. Here in Washington, D.C. and in Miami, the high cost of living is forcing many to make tough decisions. Take a look. Kennedy Gill is a graduate from Florida State University who recently moved to Washington, D.C. for a job opportunity. Even with a full-time job, the cost of living in D.C. posed significant challenges for her.
So when I was looking to move to the DC area, I was looking at a much smaller salary and knew immediately that living on my own was not going to be feasible with the cost of living here. The salary I was looking at the time was only about $28,000 for the year.
Kennedy's challenges don't end with rent. Like many young professionals, she also has other financial obligations.
Financially, I had like my car payment as well as my student loans and, needing to be able to live and afford to eat.
According to a new report from In My Area, recent graduates would need to earn about $72,000 a year to afford rent in America's most expensive cities. As of July 2024, the average rent in Washington, D.C. is $2,267 per month, which is 48% higher than the national average. Emily Cajias, a graduate from Florida International University, also has a full-time job but can't afford to move out of her parents' home.
Currently, I work as a writer at a local news station, so I only get paid $15 an hour. From living in Miami, I don't have the salary enough to pay for me to move out in Miami because it's really expensive at the moment.
Emily's situation is reflective of a larger trend. As of July 2024, the average rent in Miami is $2,078 per month, which is 35% higher than the national average. However, the potential solutions are on the horizon. Non-traditional housing options such as shipping container homes and tiny homes are gaining popularity as affordable alternatives. These options provide a lower-cost solution that is also sustainable and customizable.
Yeah, they are much more affordable, and I think it'd be cool to do that living on my own instead of wasting all my money on something super expensive in Miami.
Local governments are also stepping in to address the housing crisis. In Miami-Dade, Mayor Daniela Levine Cava has declared an affordability crisis and released an executive directive to accelerate housing solutions for residents.
And we launched this Building Blocks program to bring relief by expanding local protections through the passage of the Tenants' Bill of Rights, is providing renters with safe, stable, and affordable rental housing assistance.
In Washington, D.C., the inclusionary zoning program helps ensure that new residential developments must include affordable housing units. As the cost of living rises, recent graduates need innovative solutions to find their footing. Many will rely on roommates and family, but with local government help and creative housing options, independence is possible. Reporting in Washington, D.C. for Caplin News.
Opening statements begin today in Florida's Black Swan trial. For the past 4 years, Ashley Benfield has been claiming self-defense for shooting and killing her older husband. Doug Benfield was 30 years older than the defendant, who was a former ballerina. Yesterday, a jury was seated in Benfield's murder trial near Sarasota. The judge denied a defense motion to delay the start of the trial.
And travelers who booked on Delta Airlines flights are still facing cancellations and delays following this Friday's global tech outage. Hundreds of customers are still facing a hard time, especially those with special needs. One example is Ian Maliuski. He's a student at Harvard Law School who is also quadriplegic and has been trying to get on a flight from Salt Lake City to Miami for the last 36 hours. His flight got canceled again yesterday, and he was told there was no Delta personnel to assist him.
It's kind of crazy to, have someone look at you and you tell them, hey, if I don't get this medication, I could have a seizure, stroke, or pass it out. And they just say, I don't know what to tell you.
More than 1,400 flights have been canceled. 900 of them were Delta. The company's CEO said more than half of the Delta computers are Windows-based and will require software repairs.
Reports of mobile home insurer canceling policies in Florida is only adding to the crisis for some homeowners. As Matt Cesny from WPTV reports, a company called American Mobile Insurance canceled mobile home policies.
In briny breezes, it's not unusual to find mobile home owners who do not have insurance for wind damage.
If you can afford it, it's worth having. But I can afford it, but I don't want to give insurance company $4,800. I'll fix it myself.
Joe Carroll says he'd rather bank the money himself, especially with so few options. Recently, a company called American Mobile has reportedly now cleared its books of mobile home policies in Florida under a lot of pressure. Insurance agent Robert Norberg explains.
Based on probably the information I got, their reinsurance became an issue and the pricing became an issue. They were relatively new in the marketplace.
And a good number of those policies will likely now move to Citizens, the only option for many mobile home owners, as rates with private insurers become unaffordable, especially for retirees.
And they raise the price every year. My friends tell me who have the insurance. Yeah. Every year it goes up.
Mobile homes have been an issue for many, many years because of the value and payback proposition. You're paying a high premium for a small amount of coverage.
That was WBTV's Matt Cesny reporting. Like all homeowners insurance, mobile home insurance can also get worse depending on what kind of hurricane season we have this year.
It's not a good time to be a Floridian right now.
No, especially us since we live here in Florida.
And another Heat championship being celebrated in Las Vegas this morning.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
It's a county-owned facility, it's a park, but by the way, for 1 week of the year, we turned it into a world-class IndyCar venue.
Caplin News tells the story of a former prominent racetrack in Miami. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
Tracking history, remnants of a historic Miami racetrack remain right next to FIU's MMC campus. Just off of the campus is a piece of motorsports history hidden in plain sight.
Caplin's Kenneth Bueno reports on how Miami Park played a pivotal role in Miami's auto racing scene.
At Miami Park, the speed limit here currently is 15 miles per hour. But back in the 1980s, the atmosphere, the crowds, and yes, even the speeds were turned up as it now sits as a relic in South Florida's auto racing history.
On Sports World, the IndyCars return to Miami.
It's a county-owned facility. It's a park. But by the way, for 1 week of the year, we turned it into a world-class IndyCar venue.
That's the mindset that Al Garcia says Ralph Sanchez had when building the Tamiami Park Street Circuit, one that emphasized bringing IndyCar to town.
You know, oftentimes people say, we're not in Indianapolis, we're not in Daytona, you're crazy. And he goes, I'll prove it to you. And that confirmed what he felt all along, that this community would embrace and support Major League Auto Racing.
Hosting events from 1985 to 1988, the street circuit acted as the stepping stone for venues like Homestead and Miami Speedway that hosts events today. But former Miami Herald photographer Tim Chapman says this track is only a small part of a larger Miami narrative.
To me, it represented more expansion in toward the Everglades. The racetrack was just an entertainment thing, just like but what's worse, 1,000 homes with sewage. But the racetrack itself is just a little microcosm of the history of that piece of property.
And although the roads used for racing now are just part of the streets here at Tamiami Park, the former racetrack sits as a sign that Miami auto racing is surely alive and well. Reporting in Tamiami, Kenneth Bueno, Caplin News.
The Marlins are 2-2 following the All-Star break this morning after tying their series against their Mets last night. 5-1 at the bottom of the fifth, a Josh Bell solo homer gave the Marlins life. Brian De La Cruz would belt one of his own out of the park at the bottom of the seventh, but the Fish were never truly able to build momentum. The final score was Mets 6, Marlins 4. The Fish will need to regroup fast as they are set to face the best American League team, the Baltimore Orioles, today.
The Heat Summer League team is celebrating this morning after staying undefeated en route to the championship. The Heat secured a nail-biting 120-118 win against the Memphis Grizzlies off a game-winning bucket from Heat's second-round pick, Pelle Larsson. The roster embodied Heat culture from first-time head coach Dan Bisaccio, who, tell me if this sounds familiar, started with the Heat as a video intern, and Summer League MVP Josh Christopher, a 2021 first-round pick, who was cut by the Houston Rockets and led this team all the way. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
And that's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm David Lascano.
And I'm Emma Alonso. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.